Here's how this works. Water, salt, and pepper, those are freebies. Your pantry, it better have flour, oil, vinegar, mustard, and garlic. Beyond that, you'll only need 5 more ingredients and 25 minutes to put an entree or entire meal on the table. So, shop, set the clock, and let's dish out. First things first, we'll need a pork tenderloin. This one here is about 1 3/4 pounds, but anything in the 1.5 pound range should be just fine. We'll need some honey. Of course, some balsamic vinegar for our balsamic glaze. A little bit of chicken broth or chicken stock to loosen things up. And some butter for shine and body and richness. Let's get started. If you have any large pieces of silver skin on your tenderloin, you can go ahead and just trim those off by slicing under them with a sharp knife and pulling away as you cut against the silver skin grain, but not totally necessary. Next up, we're going to go ahead and cut these into roughly 1.5 inch medallions. If you go thinner, they'll just cook faster. It's really that simple. If you go too thick, you're probably going to have to finish them in the oven. Next up, we'll take either a cast iron or stainless steel pan because we do want to create a little bit of fond, put it over medium-high heat, add in a couple tablespoons of olive oil, and then lay in our medallions. Obviously, we'll need to season those up with some fresh cracked pepper and a strong pinch of salt. And we're going to give them 4 to 5 minutes on that first side or until they naturally release from the skillet and have a beautiful golden brown crust. Once you flip them over, give them 3 to 4 minutes on that second side or until they're about 135 degrees internally for a nice medium, which is the way I like to cook my pork tenderloin. Again, if you want them cooked more thoroughly, just cook them a little longer or pop them in the oven at 400 for about, 4 to 5 minutes, or again until they're cooked to your liking. Next up, we'll remove them and add in some chicken stock, balsamic, and honey. The exact proportions will be down below for you all as always. Right in there with all those beautiful drippings. Keep it up over medium-high heat. We really want to deglaze the bottom of that pan and also reduce this liquid by roughly half. Because what we essentially have here is a very hot oil and vinegar dressing, we're going to add some Dijon mustard from the pantry that acts as an emulsifier so that once it is incorporated into the sauce, it can be nice and homogeneous as you see there. Go ahead and turn the heat down to low once it's reduced by half and add in a couple tablespoons of unsalted butter and just stir constantly until that butter is melted in and emulsified itself into the sauce, at which point we can go ahead and return our medallions to the sauce to rewarm them through or finish cooking them, whatever the case may be. And I like to give them a little toss around in that balsamic reduction to coat all sides. And at this point, we're pretty well ready to plate this up. Now, you could serve this with some mashed potatoes as I did, some rice, a nice fresh green veggie. Really any side of your choosing goes wonderfully well with these lean pork medallions. I'm going to plate down 2. And then of course we have to go back in and spoon over some of that luscious, tangy, slightly sweet, rich, buttery balsamic glaze. For the thumbnail, I'm going in with some chives, but of course that's totally optional. Fresh herbs are a wonderful addition to any dish, but not necessary. And look at that, a nice rosy pink cook on that pork. Again, guys, if you feel like you need to cook it more, be my guest. Go ahead and do it well done. It's still going to be wonderfully tender because it is a tenderloin. It's going to be juicy, and that sauce is excellent. Again, tangy, sweet, savory, just a delight. Comes together in about 15 minutes from start to finish. Hope you'll give it a try. You could use this on fish or chicken as well. As always, thanks for watching, and now it is your turn to go and make something delicious.